Dreamers everywhere. Welcome to the Dueling Disney podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Andee Zomerman.
And I'm the other one of your hosts, Aldee. How you doing?
I am good. We are on week 3. 3 weeks since we've spoken last, and that's because I've had a very busy summer traveling. You've probably had a very busy summer getting ready for college to start.
We opened this week, and so it's been a couple of weeks of busy work at work. But all of our residents moved in and classes start this week, so we're in good shape. There's a bunch of activities this weekend that I have not attended because I'm tired and I work long days this week.
Oh my gosh, we're so old. We're so old.
I have a lot of people who are better suited to hanging out with students while they walk around San Francisco than I am, and would probably enjoy the experience way more than me of going, ooh, buildings.
But they're pretty buildings.
They're pretty buildings, but you got to ride BART to get there, and I don't need that smell.
Good point. Is that, I like that shirt you're wearing. Is that a D23 shirt?
Don't you have this shirt? Yeah.
No, I have the jersey. I didn't get the shirt.
Oh, you didn't get the shirt. No, I like this shirt. It's one of the few shirts that's in my size, so it's good, but I don't like the collar's a little weird, so.
Oh.
But I enjoy the shirt. I think it's just because it's warm here today. It's 83 degrees right now.
Yeah.
The Bay Area apartments are notorious for not having air conditioning. I was gonna go ride my motorcycle this afternoon, but I don't know that I'm gonna do that because it's a little warm outside.
How is being a biker?
Look, am I cool? Sure. I mean, I think we can all agree on that. I mean, do I still not ride certain places because I'm scared out of my mind? Yes, that's true. Also, both things can be true at the same time. Do I do most of my riding in the DMV parking lot? Why not? Okay? Why not? I rode my bike to the bookstore yesterday, so
that's impressive.
Huzzah to me. Had a cup of coffee, let my heart rate go down, and drove back home. It was
You didn't write any books? Did you write any books?
No, because I don't have like somewhere to put them. I guess I could have brought a backpack, but you know.
Oh, so you don't have a little basket in front and a little bell?
No,
ding, ding,
I don't have
ding,
a basket and bell on my motorcycle. My Honda Rebel 500 Special Edition. 500cc cool guy motorcycle.
Can't be that cool. You don't have anything to carry books back in, so.
No, I mean, actually, I need to get saddlebags so I can carry some stuff around.
Oh, man.
It doesn't have a bell. It has a horn. Honk on it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. How was your Disney week?
My Disney week was cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to shake up what I choose for my Disney week, and I realized, as folks who listen to the podcast know, I am a bit of a comic book collector.
A bit.
And so because of school and work and all that kind of stuff, I've been really behind on a lot of issues. And I'm primarily a DC Comics guy, but Disney owns Marvel, and the one Marvel title I will always buy is Fantastic Four. But I've been behind, so I've spent the last this current weekend catching up on Fantastic Four. They had a great issue number 700. With a really awesome Dr. Doom story, and I just really like the FF. Ben Grimm, the ever-loving blue-eyed thing, is probably my favorite Marvel character. And he hasn't been in any of the main Marvel movies.
No,
He's been in
he has
a couple
not.
of bad Fantastic Four movies, but, you know.
Fair enough.
2 mediocre Fantastic Four movies and one
Are they redoing that?
Horrendous. Yeah, they're bringing them into the main
Yeah, I thought so.
MCU, so
okay.
That's one of the things everybody's like all excited about. I just hope they get them right. This is my favorite Marvel character. So, but I played catch up, and it's a good way to spend a couple days when I'm not really having to sweat out my dissertation.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, I've been all Disney all the time, a little bit.
But I'm shocked.
Shocked, I tell you. It's been a summer, man. I did not realize at the beginning of summer. I am not complaining. This isn't a complaint by any means. I had a fantastic summer. I have been so lucky to be able to go to the places I've been.
It's important for our listeners to know that due to your normal tone of voice, you have to just explain when things aren't a complaint, because otherwise we really wouldn't know. I've often been with you when somebody's like, "What did we do?" And you're like, "No, seriously, I would just like a hamburger and some fries." And you're like, "Okay. Geez, lady." And you're like, no, that's just my tone.
Pretty much. God, pretty much.
It's funny because it's true.
It's true. I was only home for 4 consecutive days this summer.
I know you've been like travel woman.
Yeah, it's been crazy. But now school starts for teachers tomorrow in our local school district, and so the kids come a week later. I'm going to a new school building this year. I'm leaving my friends where I was running the library at one middle school, and now I'm going to be teaching 7th grade language arts at a different.
You're still allowed to be friends with those people, right?
I am, but I don't see them every day. It's very sad. But so far I'm meeting new people at this new school, and I'm actually cool. Very excited. It's going to be very cool. But one thing
and you're passing a picture of me around, your handsome single friend. Is that what's happening?
God, why do you know how old we are? Nobody's single anymore. Like, it's
I know one. And most of my friends have been married and are now single again.
Yeah,
so.
That's true. True.
Don't you tell me.
Anyway, so our new school is putting out like on Instagram, they'll put like, hey, meet the teacher, meet this person, meet that person. So I had mine, I don't know, a few days ago where meet Mrs. Omerman. And so it was all the stuff about me, how I like Disney, and some other facts about me. Well, just before we were podcasting, I was flipping through Instagram and I saw get to know another teacher who I haven't met yet. But I was reading her bio and she loves Disney, which is exciting. But guess what else? And this doesn't mean anything except to me and Al. So listeners, sorry, you're in on the personal one. Guess what else?
Do you like Boingo Boingo?
No, that would be cool. She looks, her picture, I'm not sure how old she is. Her picture looks way younger than me. So I'm sure she's, yeah. Anyway.
So she looks my age?
Mm-hmm, yeah. She graduated with a BA and an MA from California State University, Fresno in communicative disorders.
No way.
Yes, way.
Holy smokes. Yeah. I mean, you should explain for our listeners, you graduated with a bachelor's, not a master's.
Yeah, not a master's.
Which I'm still salty about. But from both of our alma mater, Fresno State.
That's our alma mater.
Super cool.
So we bound, I mean, I don't know how much younger she is than me, but we're bound to have some of the same professors. And for those of you who don't know, this major of mine in this college happened to be really small. I think there was only like 18 people in my immediate major. So I'm very excited to meet this person. But yeah, she made mention of it being her goal to visit every Disney park and that she's been to 3. So
that's cool.
Pretty impressive. What do we think it is? Is it Paris? Well, is it Tokyo? Is it
the 2 American parks?
Yeah.
And I would say more people probably are likely to go to Paris
than Tokyo,
than Tokyo, Shanghai, or what's the other?
Shanghai or Hong Kong? The one you went to, Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, yeah,
that one.
I mean, it's a pocket park. Yeah. I'd say my bet is Paris.
Okay, you're probably right. I
mean, I'm one of the few people who went to like Africa and Asia and still has not been to Europe. So it's just a weird thing. I think most Americans would go to Europe first.
Yeah, that's probably true. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out tomorrow. Anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. So I'm looking forward to meeting her.
Mm-hmm. Well, tell her hi from a fellow bulldog and then bark at her.
I won't do the latter, but I will certainly
do. We're required. They take our degrees away if we don't bark at people.
Oh, please come get it. Not like I did anything with it.
Well, I did. I'm currently, my degree was radio, TV, and film. I mean, this is sort of similar to radio, kind of. A little bit. There's a microphone involved.
I majored in education of the deaf and hearing impaired, and I'm going to teach my hearing students how to say bathroom in sign language so that they don't have to yell at me when they have to go to the bathroom. So that's going to be
they're still going to yell at you.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta gear up for that. So we thought we'd take a break in our first timer series because if you've been listening for a while, you know that Al and I are constantly going back and forth on whether a Disney cruise is worth the money or not worth the money. He says no, but he's never been on one.
And as soon as Disney wants to help me correct that, I'm happy to go on their dime.
It was very interesting for me. Ed and I went on an Alaskan itinerary on the Westerdam as part of Holland America cruise line. I'm so glad we went because it was I needed to know. I was very interested. But Al, one thing I will tell you is that I don't think by going on this one itinerary on one ship, I can make a judgment about all cruises compared to
that's
Disney.
true. Well, I mean, because cruise lines, and if you've been, I've been on 4 different cruise lines, I think. Yes, I've been on 4 different cruise lines, and each cruise line has a personality, right?
Yeah, I could tell.
And so if you go, particularly on one like Holland America, it has a very unique personality, and so that doesn't necessarily give you an apples to apples comparison.
Absolutely.
Although I do think it's enough to have the conversation. So you've done Disney multiple times. Years ago, you did Carnival, like me. Like most people's first cruise is Carnival, and a lot of people sort of evolved from Carnival. Like I did like one, and that was it. And then Holland America. So you've done 3 cruise lines, Disney being one of them, right?
I did. I don't know who took it over, but before Disney came up with their own cruise line, I did Premier Cruise Lines. It was called the Big Red Boat.
The Big Red Boat. I remember that. Yeah.
They contracted with Disney, so they had Disney characters, even though it wasn't a Disney owned. And I don't even know where they are now. I don't know who absorbed them.
I don't even know if they still exist.
They don't. I mean, they would have been absorbed somewhere.
Maybe Disney bought them or something like. I don't know.
Anyway, yeah. So those are the cruise lines. Anyway, continue what you were going to say. Sorry.
Well, and I was going to then compare. I've been on Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, and Princess, right? But I've not been on Disney. So I think between us, we've been on 6 different lines. And so maybe collectively we can talk about the personalities of the lines. But I think the most critical thing, and for me, it's just a lot of the questions I have are your comparison of Holland to your experience of Disney. Because I was texting you a little bit on the boat. I didn't want to like blow you up in case it was costing you a ton of money. But that some of your concerns, I thought were valid concerns about the things that you get on Disney that you don't necessarily get on other cruise lines. So I'm wondering if we can start with a sort of a general assessment of your most recent cruise on Holland as it compares to what you normally get on Disney.
Yeah. So I'm going to say right away that Holland, we had been told every time we told somebody we were going on a Holland America cruise, everybody said, oh, that's for old people. And in my mind, I was like, cool, I'm on the old people cruise.
Right.
Like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit there and read my book. But what I did not realize is that, there was a lot of stuff I didn't realize. I pictured myself as an old person, not the old people who were still partying and gambling and out.
It's the thing where we go, oh, how old we are. And then other people who are older than us go, you sit down, kids.
Yeah.
No, we're really old.
But there were a lot of scooters around for a lot of the older people. There were a lot of multi-generational people, which I'm used to seeing on Disney, but this was more the olders of the multi-generation.
Right. Now, were there a lot of kids?
There were a few kids. The only kids I saw were part of these like
the multi-generational
family reunion kind of party kind of thing. So I don't know. I can't speak a lot for a lot of things. And the activities that were offered weren't activities I was interested in. In fact, we went to one 80s trivia because I will be there on any 80s films, 80s music. You give it to me, not sports.
And it turned out trivia about people who were in their 80s, right? That's what,
Nice.
So Metamucil comes in 3 different flavors.
Right. But we found other people there our age. But what I also have to remember is that a lot of people our age who like cruises where they're just not me. They watch Fox News. A lot of people there watched Fox News. You could tell by the attire that they were wearing. And probably the itinerary we were going on too. We were going to Alaska.
So what was the itinerary?
Well, it was Alaska, in general. So it wasn't a Caribbean party boat.
So you just, when you got off the boat, it just said Alaska and they didn't have any towns or anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, the itinerary was great. We went to Juneau, Sitka, and Ketchikan and a couple days at sea.
Oh, I want to see those places.
It was fantastic. I highly recommend Alaska. So,
it's a state now.
Before Hawaii even.
Yeah.
I loved it. I want to go back, but when I go back, I want to go back to Alaska and stay in Alaska and do. I don't need to get back on a ship. And so what I didn't take into consideration is that when I do go on a Disney cruise, I really do enjoy the Disney activities on the cruise. So a day at sea for me, a day at
Right.
sea can be as relaxing or as interactive as I want it to be.
So, and
And
that makes me super curious about that. So,
yeah,
for me, days at sea,
yeah,
and again, for the ones that I've not sailed a Disney cruise, are exactly that. Like, if I want to be super involved, like there's all sorts of activities and trivia and shows and games and all kinds of stuff. But if I want to just sit on my butt by the pool and read a book, I can do that as well. Now, on a Disney cruise, the activities, is it, having been with you many times to the Disney parks, is it similar to being at a Disney park where it's just like you're run to activities?
only if you want to.
Okay. But there's enough activities that you could do a day like that.
Yeah, I was so when I'm going to take trivia because trivia is my favorite activity. I will always go to a trivia, right? Like I talk everybody, hey, there's another trivia. I just love
Yeah,
it.
you notoriously came in second in a trivia contest in college. I remember that.
Very funny. I came in first on Holland America cruise line.
Oh, yeah.
80s
Well, there you
music trivia. But here, okay, I'm comparing two cruises that I've been on, but the person running the activity wasn't confident in her ability to be running the trivia show. And I noticed that on Disney, whenever they do trivia things, I mean, the things are hard. Like when they play the music, they play like 5 to 10 notes, right? And you got to get it. This trivia was like, we're going to play it all the way to the title of the song. I don't know how to explain it, but it just wasn't the same. It just wasn't the same. It was.
Well, I mean, here's the thing that you make me think of is
Okay.
Disney is notorious, right? And not in a bad way, but notorious for they're not like staff and passengers. It's your cast member, and
Yeah.
you're on stage
Yeah.
or backstage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
the Disney sort of ethos is when you're in front of what other lines would call the passengers, right? You're performing,
Yeah.
right? That there is a whole sort of theatrical piece that Disney employs, which is even if your job is just to go out and run a trivia night, you're on
Yeah.
stage.
You are.
And
Yeah.
and there's an
Absolutely.
expectation that you put on a show, and that
Yeah.
even if you're not confident, that you portray,
Yeah.
right? It's that kind of piece
Yeah.
that's just, I think, a slight distinction
Yeah.
from, hey, this is a passenger, you're not busy, go out and do the trivia contest, whatever, right? Like the show part is so much more critical to the Disney experience.
I think that you hit the nail on the head with that. I think that that's exactly what it was. When we were on Holland, the staff was great. All right. The staff was great. They were very nice. They were, I mean, very pleasant, everything. But it wasn't the show. It was, hi, I'm a guest and I don't know. It was like going to a Best Western versus a Disney hotel. Right.
Mhm.
That's how I kind of.
That's, I don't know, the last time you were at a Best Western, that's a huge difference.
That's what I'm saying. I felt that.
Like,
I really
I could
felt
see
that.
a Hilton versus a Disney hotel, but like
That's
a
not
Best
what I'm
Western
saying.
is.
Okay, let me go back. If Carnival is the Best Western,
Yeah, I would say that.
Hilton, yeah, you're right.
Holland
Would be the Hilton, and then you've got the Disney hotels.
Okay, that makes sense.
What was I gonna? There was something I was gonna say. I don't know.
Was it about the show? And yeah.
No. I know. Well, even the entertainment. Now, mind you may hate Disney entertainment, and that will not be the cruise for you. There are people that are not going to like a Disney cruise.
I personally love Disney entertainment, but I co-host a Disney podcast, so that I'm pre-sold.
You do. Like these shows were nice. They were like a comedian and some dancers, and
right.
It was just very generic. Also, probably perfect for the clientele that they're trying to reach.
Sure.
Okay, so I think for that it's great. So trivia is my jam, but the other thing that we were really comparing were bars, because we like to just sit and have a drink and like read our books or whatever. Now, when we went into these different bars on Holland, the servers knew how to make the drinks that were on that menu, but if you ordered something that was not on the menu, they might not know exactly how to make it. Whereas when we went into the bars on Disney, not only did they know how to make other things, they were suggesting other things. There was one bar that we went into and I was like, hey, do you guys have any coffee drinks? I just wanted a coffee and Bailey's. we don't have coffee in this, but I'm going to go get you some. And I'm like, no, don't get it for me. But then every time that same server saw me on the ship, he's like, I'm going to get your coffee drink. Like, I don't know how they do it, but they do it. It feels personal.
Yeah.
All of that kind of stuff. So when we were on the cruise line, Ed said it is definitely worth paying more for Disney to have that experience. And I said, yeah, I agree with you. Now, one more thing. I thought Disney was, I had pictured one price in my head for Alaska that we were going to pay. So I said, okay, is it worth double? Yeah. Is it worth, I mean, double's a lot. Double is a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. But, you know, we really like it. We really like the customer service. We really like the cleanliness. We like the food better. We like is that worth it to us? And I told you that, I think I said, I told you it was worth it to us. But
and that's been go ahead.
When I got off the ship, I actually found out that it was like 3 times as much. Like it's over 3 times as much for what we got. I wasn't comparing apples to apples. Right. And so what I told Ed, Ed's like, nah. Ed's like, not for Alaska. But other itineraries are
Europe
similar prices to the Caribbean, to Mexico, to Europe. It's similar prices. It's just Alaska for some reason, and I have no idea what it is.
Alaska's
and if any of
weirdly
you know,
priced.
Why is Disney so freaking more expensive for Alaska?
Well, here's the thing. It's more expensive, but they pay more attention, and that costs more. So the exact things you're talking about.
Norway.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You and I have had this disagreement. I think Disney is easily twice as expensive universally, but I'm not looking at Holland America, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at your more Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Princess sort of companies. Holland America is a little more upscale than those. And so for me, what I'm getting, and so here's the distinction. My brother and I were talking yesterday, and we're just talking about different like big meals that we've had at restaurants. And I said, yeah, I've gone to a steakhouse where like I paid $200 for a steak, and it was the best steak I ever had. But I cannot honestly say that the $200 steak was $160 better than the $40 steak.
Right.
And that's for me sort of the distinction is Disney's clearly better. Is it 3 times better? Right. And I agree with you, like depending on what you're going on the cruise for. If you're going on the cruise largely for the ports, right? If it's like I've always wanted to see Alaska and my real focus is on Alaska, look, if you can afford it, great, you know, have a good time. But if it's like this is my one time and I'm just really trying to budget and keep it reasonable, right? The Disney touch, if the distinction is I'm never going to do this, or I'm going to do it, but only with Disney, I would say do it on a more affordable line if your goal is to go to those ports. If your goal is to do a Disney experience, then find the most affordable Disney experience, which is still going to be a lot more experience than comparable lines.
I'm glad I did it. I'm so glad I did this trip. I needed it. I needed everything about it. And none of these are complaints, but more observations. But I will tell you something I did learn about going on this. When I'm going on a Disney cruise, you're right, I'm going more for the cruise than the ports or both. And this time I said, no, I'm really going for the ports. So I really don't care about the ship. However, I would have rather spent my money and just, now that I know, I needed to know. But now that I know, I would rather take my money and just go stay in Alaska. I don't need what Holland America has on their ship.
Right.
I don't need to pay for that. Especially the other thing, and I know this is different on different cruise lines, the nickel and diming on everything.
Oh, yeah.
Driving me back.
Cruise lines are notorious for, and it's gotten worse over the years.
But Disney, you don't do that. So
Disney, because they just go, which I think is smart. They go, look, we're just going to charge you a lot at the beginning, and then don't worry about it, right?
Yeah.
But so I was on my most recent cruise was in December on Norwegian, right?
Yeah.
No. It was in April on Pacific. And it was just a 3-day cruise to Alaska. I really did it so I could just sit on a cruise ship and work on my dissertation.
Did you go to Alaska? I thought it was just Canada.
It wasn't Alaska. It was to Canada. I don't know why, but it's sort of that direction, right?
Okay.
Everything above Portland is Alaska to me.
I live in Alaska.
That's what I thought. I thought it was weird that you were going to
Yeah,
visit
yeah.
Alaska. But the nickel and dime started, like the cruise itself, super cheap. I paid $150 to have a balcony room to myself.
Yeah.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I usually save a lot of money because I don't drink, and so the drink packages is what everybody else spends their money on, or buying drinks on the ship. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't buy a lot of excursions because for me, I just like to get off the ship at a port and walk around, right? So I usually don't get nickel and dime. But on this one, because I was working on my dissertation, I needed Wi-Fi.
Oh,
It
yeah.
costs a lot extra money.
Yeah.
Then they had the sort of thing with the specialty restaurants. Well, I wanted to have a nice dinner.
Mm-hmm.
That costs a little bit extra money. Like every little thing, even if you don't drink, nickel and dime just to get a ride from the ship back to the airport, $50. Like every single thing. And it didn't used to be that way. Now, to be fair, when I started cruising, Wi-Fi wasn't a thing because I'm old. But, and it definitely wasn't a thing on the ship. But like and then you have to not, there's regular Wi-Fi and then there's premium Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
And if you use the regular Wi-Fi, you might as well not try. Because they give you like 150 minutes and it takes 149 minutes just to get the thing to load. So I guess the other thing, I want to go sort of category by category and see direct comparison, right?
Okay.
So food on Holland America versus quality of food, not service, on Disney. How would you compare the two?
Disney, 100%. 100%.
So is the food bad on Holland America or just it's that good on Disney?
I hated the buffet. I hated
interesting.
The buffet. Ed was okay with it. I thought it was over salted. I thought it was mushy. Again, who's their clientele?
Right.
So I did not like the buffet at all. Okay, Ed kind of looked at me right now as we're recording, and he's like, so Ed has maybe a different opinion, but I did not like the buffet.
Did you do any specialty restaurants or the main dining room?
We did one specialty restaurant, and I thought their specialty restaurant was amazing. I also thought their specialty restaurant was equal to the main dining room at Disney.
Oh, interesting.
If you are a Disney fan, I think having those 3 different main dining rooms and rotating with your service team is amazing.
No other line does that. That is something that's so unique to Disney.
Okay, but we're just talking about quality of the food right now.
Yeah.
Disney.
Okay.
Yeah. Disney.
Room accommodations, like your cabin, the sort of quality of it, how would that compare Disney to Holland America?
Disney. Okay. I like that Disney has...
Is it more than the theming or just the theming?
No, not even the theming. I like that Disney's bathrooms are split so that you have a sink and a shower in one area and a sink and a toilet in the other area, so somebody can be showering while somebody else is getting ready. I like the decor better. We thought when we were in there, we saw that it was a newer ship than Disney Magic, so we were surprised, but then we were really surprised when we found out that they were dry docked in 2017, so that was actually an updated
so it's
decor.
Been refitted since for the last 5 years.
We actually thought that it was pretty dated. It was a nice room. I'm not saying it wasn't, but Disney on that one.
Okay. And do you all usually stay in like a family suite when you're in Disney, or is it like 2 cabins? Okay.
Just a room. When the girls are with us, we have the bunk bed on the top and the couch folding into a bed.
Okay. Like third and final.
Yeah.
Unless I come up with something else. Just sort of the ship amenities. Because one of the things about Disney that I'm a little annoyed about, not that much as I get older and don't really do this as much as I used to, Disney has no casinos.
Right.
Which every other line has casinos. 10 years ago, that bothered me. Now I don't. The last 4 times I've cruised, I haven't gambled anything. But just sort of what's available on the ship. I think I know where this is going, but I figure just for our listeners, the amenities on the ship, Disney versus Holland America. And here's the other thing. Remember that you two are cruising without kids this time.
Yeah.
And so much of the Disney experience is space devoted to kids. So it might be hard to compare.
They have a lot of space devoted to adults too. That's what I like about the Disney cruise. I can't say fairly because I think it depends on what activities you're into. If you're a gambler and you like the casinos, Disney's not going to work for you. I hate casinos. I hate Vegas. I hate all that. I hate the smoke. I hate the I just don't like it. So for me, I'm happy not to have the casino. But different strokes, right? I mean, that one's, I think, is a subjective kind of thing.
Okay.
But I will say that Ronnie is one of our listening duelists, and she listed a question on our Facebook page that said, I'd love to hear more about the entertainment things to do. We've been dying to book an Alaskan cruise, but aren't sure if we want to do a repeat cruise with the Disney Wonder. We currently have a Catalina one booked for March, or not, since that's the only ship that sails that way. And that, I mean, Ed and I just went on that Catalina trip in March.
And that was Disney, right?
It was Disney, and we didn't have a very good time because we're finding that the itineraries bring different crowds. And so it was spring break, tons of kids. The kids were overrunning in the bars. It was a madhouse. And we kind of compared the California itinerary versus the other itineraries as Disneyland versus Disney World. Disneyland, you got all the locals who go there all the time, short trips.
And that's super true for the Mexico cruises out of LA. And
is that
San
true
Diego.
for other cruise lines too?
Yeah, like that's one of the reasons why, like last year for my birthday, I did a Royal Caribbean cruise to Ensenada just for a weekend.
Yeah, that's what,
And I just didn't care for it because A, I have no need to go to Ensenada, and B, it was just a locals kind of cruise, and it's just that kind of thing. I much preferred the Princess cruise I did to Canada. It was, even though I thought it was going to be locals because it came out of San Francisco, which is one of the reasons I took it, but cruises don't come out of San Francisco that often, so it just was a nicer mix of folks. And that one was 4 days. Yeah, we had two different ports in a sea day. So,
but it was good. It was good for me because I always said, "Oh, do Disney, don't do anything else." And really, people are going to hate the Disney cruise if they don't like the same things that I like. So I get that now. I get it.
Yeah, for me, it still comes down to and I think you've answered this, but also how much better in terms of price effectiveness is Disney. So for you, it sounds like twice as much, sure. 3 times as much, you start to question it.
Right. 3 times as much, I go to Alaska and I don't worry about the ship.
Yeah. But the other thing is, it's interesting that you mentioned the entertainment, and I've never done Holland, but when I was on Norwegian, the thing that I really liked about the entertainment there, which I know Norwegian and a couple of the other lines, I know Royal and one other line are doing this, where they have full Broadway productions. So when I did Norwegian, they did Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and I loved it. It was great.
That would have been fantastic.
It was great. You could get seats easily. The one thing I didn't like about Norwegian was they tout the anytime dining, where you can just go and get a seat.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a great idea.
Yeah.
Except on every other ship I've sailed on, when you have a reservation, you go, you sit down, you have your seat, your meal. On Norwegian, I always had to wait for a meal because there was a line.
Oh, interesting.
It was like, because it was like, everybody wants to go to dinner at 7. So you might wait an hour to get a table, except at the specialty restaurants. Now, I will say the specialty restaurants on Norwegian were fantastic.
But Disney has 1 specialty restaurant, 2, or if you're talking about the newer ships, I want my regular food to be awesome.
Well, and here's the thing. When I was on Norwegian, the regular food was awesome, but I got a chance in the specialty restaurants to try, and this is part of what I like about cruising, to try at no extra cost stuff I would never do. So, for example, they had a churrascaria on Norwegian. Now, I've always wanted that, but because of my surgery, it's kind of not worth it because I know I'm not going to be able to eat enough. But it was one of my specialty restaurants, so I went and I loved it. And even though I couldn't really eat a lot of food, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So and Disney has, I think, 3 specialty restaurants, and Norwegian, there was like 7 or 8. I didn't get to all of the specialty restaurants on Norwegian. So that's also part of it is, as I'm hearing you talk, part of it is, and this might be helpful for folks who've listened, to talk about what the personality of each of the the lines that you and I have sailed on are, so good people can help sort of say, okay, this is who I am and this is the line for me, right?
Yeah.
So starting with Disney, how would you typify the personality of a Disney cruise and the type of person who would enjoy that?
A Disney fan. People who like going to Disneyland and Disney World. If you don't like that, you're not going to like a Disney cruise.
Oh, you're going to have a horrible time.
Yeah.
If you're like, I don't know if you've had this experience of going to Disneyland or Disney World with a person who's kind of too cool for it.
Luckily, no.
And I've had that many times. And
I know you have.
Like,
I know.
Oh, I can't believe in the corporate and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I need you to sit down and shut up. And I understand that, corporation and capitalism is evil, but I'm just trying to enjoy the Jungle Cruise right now. So if you could just not. Okay. So that kind of person's not going to enjoy a Disney cruise. Holland America, how would you say? What is the personality of the person who's going to enjoy a Holland America cruise?
Old and
when you say old, because you and I are in our 50s.
80s.
Okay.
I really do. Or
retirees, would you say?
Retirees, yeah. But I won't be. But not my personality.
Okay.
But I'm a Disney person, so.
But you also mentioned it's kind of a conservative crowd.
It was the conservative crowd.
Is there much stuff for kids? Go ahead.
Yeah, but I didn't pay attention. But that was the itinerary too. We were going to Alaska, so sure. I really think that matters with the crowd you're going to get to.
Okay.
But definitely a conservative crowd. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Both of us have sailed Carnival. What would you say the Carnival?
Broke college student who wants to be drunk 24/7.
I would agree with that. I don't think I will ever sail Carnival again. I just can't imagine a world in which that
Carnival
makes sense.
owns Holland?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't realize that Carnival owned all these other ones.
There's only like 3 cruise companies, and they have a bunch of different lines.
I had no idea.
It's like Coke and Diet Coke and Mr. Pibb and all that kind of stuff, right? So Carnival owns Holland. I think they own Princess. But having sailed Carnival and Princess, they're very different experiences.
Yeah. So tell me about yours then.
Okay.
Princess. Who goes on Princess?
Princess, I would say, similar to Holland, retirees. It's a much more chill environment than any of the other cruises, which is exactly what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But probably not just retirees. I would say 50 and above.
Okay.
It's very chill, very sort of pleasant. Not super active. There were kids on it, but that really wasn't the focus of it.
Mm-hmm.
They really focus on the food and having like a really chill environment. So I would say people who want to relax, and that their chief goal is to relax. I did not get a sense that there was a particularly conservative or it's like a middle of the road 50 plus crowd. I would say would be Princess. Norwegian was a little closer to Carnival, but Carnival if the people had home training. Like people were definitely out to have a good time, but on Carnival I was always worried I was going to get into a fight, right? Like Carnival is like a bunch of guys walking around looking to like bump into you and be like, hey, you know. So Norwegian, and also I will say my experience with Norwegian was colored by the fact that as a solo traveler, Norwegian has something I think is really great, which is these solo studio cabins and a solos only sort of area.
That's kind of cool. Yeah. That's kind of cool.
So it was really easy for me as a solo person to also meet other people who were traveling solo.
Mm-hmm.
And if I wanted to like have somebody like, hey, let's do dinner, just go down to the solo lounge.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to be on my own, no pressure. So that part of Norwegian was great. But I would also say they put a lot more effort towards the entertainment. The food's really good. I don't like anytime dining. It sounds like a good idea, but it's not a good idea in practice.
I will tell you too, I wanted to mention this the last time you said that. One thing Ed and I did like, because it was also anytime dining, Disney does not have that for their main dining room. And we were also able to sit at a table for 2, and Disney doesn't have tables for 2.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, tables for 4.
God. That would be really hard for me as a solo traveler.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly.
Well, you're sitting with people.
Right? And I've done that before. I don't mind that. Like my very first cruise, they just sat me at a table with a bunch of other people. But what I decided was after the first night, I just went to the buffet because it was awkward.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think my first cruise, they sat me with like a couple on their honeymoon.
Okay.
And I felt awkward, right? I was like, hey,
Oh,
you
yeah,
all
that would
should
be weird.
probably have your own
That would be weird.
space.
That would be weird.
So I just went to the buffet from that point
We sat with three other couples. So there were there were 8 of us. And yeah, it was fine. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
And I would say the final one I think that we haven't talked about is Royal Caribbean. And I would
yeah,
say
tell me
Royal
about
Caribbean
that.
is the definition, particularly on the bigger ships,
Mm-hmm.
of the big corporate cruise.
Okay.
And not in a way that I actually enjoyed, where it's like there's going to be a ton of activities, going to be a ton of things to do on the ship. It's going to be very scheduled. There's going to be a ton of entertainment, but none of it quite with the passion that Disney has. It's going to be good quality, but the heart isn't necessarily where when you I haven't been on a Disney cruise, but I'm a Disney fan. When you're in a Disney experience and you're looking at other people going, "Oh my God, and that's Mickey," and you're really excited. On Royal Caribbean, it's like, great, hey, they've got a zip line that you can zip line 10 stories. That's cool, right? It's a very big corporate cruise.
Yeah.
As designed to be as inoffensive as possible, but
Mm-hmm.
also as personalityless as possible. And I don't mind that, because I think Royal Caribbean is the perfect cruise line to cruise on if your goal is just to do as much stuff
Mm-hmm. I've heard
during
that,
your cruise, both on the ship and on the shore.
Yeah.
So, for example, Royal Caribbean's private island, Coco Key, it's interesting. I've been there before, but they changed a lot since I've been there. They have an area that is just, hey, here's your beach, but a lot of stuff on that island. They have a water park you have to pay extra for. They have an adults only area you've got to pay extra for. So Royal Caribbean has figured out how to nickel and dime stuff that used to be free. And so I think Royal Caribbean is the perfect example of what you described on Holland, as once you get there, they're going to nickel and dime you to death.
Mm.
Although I will say, Royal had a barber shop on the last time I went on a cruise on there, and I love that. That was really cool, like a traditional barber shop, and I got a lovely shave.
I think that the new Disney ones have that. The brand new Disney ones. Cool. Yeah, they have that too, and it turns into a bar at night.
That's also pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks cool.
So when's your next cruise?
I don't know.
I'm assuming it's going to be Disney.
Maybe, or if we can afford it, because they're also expensive. But Viking looks amazing.
Yeah, Viking, I've heard nothing but good things on.
Viking looks amazing, and when I looked at them, I looked at the area that said at Viking we are not ... No casinos, no nickel and diming, no this, and you get a shore excursion included with every.
That's cool.
Port. I'm like, yes, thank you. I mean, but we'll see. I think we're done with ships for a while though. Might be doing some land vacations, but which we did just get back from Disneyland.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that we should also talk about your trip to Disneyland.
You weren't with me, but I did see Rogers the Musical.
How was it?
If you were going expecting a normal Broadway play, you would be very disappointed. But if you were going picturing that you're sitting next to Hawkeye in New York while he watches himself as an Asian man singing and dancing, you will be thrilled. It was cheesy. It was wonderful.
I mean, that's what you want out of that. And let's remember, you and I saw the first performance of that song live at D23. So, yeah.
Yes, it was great. It was so fun. It was a half an hour long. I loved it. I love the characters, and they did a good job.
You also are underselling a part of your trip, which we may need to devote a whole other episode to. Did you not go to a particularly special restaurant again this trip?
Yes, we got into Club 33. If you don't know what Club 33 is,
why are you listening to this podcast? Yeah.
It's an exclusive club. Well, I have opinions about this too. Which we can talk about this for a little bit. It's an exclusive club where you pay gobs of thousands of dollars to join, and then gobs of thousands of dollars every year to remain a member. And you get to have access to a special restaurant where Walt entertained people. It's grown since then, but the idea was that Walt entertained celebrities and dignitaries at his little special spot over the Pirates of the Caribbean. And so the only way to get in is if you're a member or if you know somebody, or in my case, if you know somebody who knows somebody who also knows somebody, you can get in that way as well.
Nice.
So,
and had I known, I would have taken days off work and just paid for a trip to Disneyland.
Had I known and ahead of time, I would have loved if you were there. I think that would have been so fun. Both of us have been. I will say that they've changed it.
It's changed so much.
A different location. I mean, they changed the entrance. The entrance in a different location. Food was great. What else can I tell you? It was nice. It was very nice to be able to go.
Yeah.
One thing that is weird to me, and maybe not to you, maybe I'm just dumb, but now every park has their own exclusive club. So there's a Club 33 at Magic Kingdom, but then also at Carthay Circle, there's like is it 1921? Another exclusive club, or maybe it's all the same exclusive club, and you just get to go into all the exclusivity rich people stuff. I don't know. Somebody
at some point realized they were making a ton of money on Club 33 and said, "Hey,
yeah, it's a special experience."
Well, it just, what it makes me think is we've both been to Club 33, but what we haven't been to is 21 Royal.
Yes, I would love that. Do you think we could go?
Well, we would have to get 13 of our close friends to cough up, because I ain't paying for it, to cough up their share. But
no, that's what I'm saying. Like that, you don't have to be a member for. You just have to find a group of friends that have a crap ton of money that they want to spend on dinner.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yes, I would love to do that. Actually, I would probably love to do that more than the other exclusive clubs at the other parks. I mean, I wouldn't turn it down if anybody wants to invite us.
Oh yeah, no, we're
not
going to
turn down the invitation.
I would actually really like to go to the one at Carthay Circle, because I really like that part of DCA.
I love Carthay Circle. Oh my gosh! And you know where else we went to eat? Not as exclusive as Club 33, but have you eaten at Magic Key Terrace yet?
No, but I want to.
So
because every time I go over there, it's just so busy, and I'm like, hey, I'm a Magic Key holder, but I haven't had a chance to go up there yet.
Yeah, you have to make a reservation.
And did you see any of San Francisco?
I did.
Looks pretty
cool. They're
just
coming up. I mean, it's not all the way done. The food court food is good. I think you mentioned that. Very happy with the food court food. But I think once it's all done, it's going to be beautiful. We saw part of the bridge going up. Yeah, it's going to be beautiful. It's a really, really good decision by Disney to turn that Pacific Wharf area into San Francisco. There, I said it. It's great. So definitely when you get a chance to go there. But so I got a chance to try a couple of new things. Every time I go, I want to try a couple of new things at the parks. And this time we rode in the motor car down Main Street. I had never done that before.
That's cool. I've never done that. That's cool.
I've done the horses, but I've never done the motor car.
Nice. I've done neither, because usually if I'm going down Main Street, I'm rushing to get to something.
Right. It was very lovely. Half of the trip to Disneyland, Ed came down and we went with Emma and Fernando, Emma's boyfriend. And then the second half of the trip, I had my best work friend from my old school and another friend of ours, and we had a girls trip, and that was great. That was great. It's time to.
And didn't you go see a concert while you were there?
Yes, that had nothing to do with Disney, but I did go see English Beat. For those of you who were into ska in the 80s, I was so happy. I was so happy.
Amazing.
I don't know where that energy came from. I literally danced the whole time and sang at the top of my lungs. I'm sure the people around me weren't very happy, but and that's where that energy came from, and now that energy is gone, never to be seen again. So. Anyway, it's been a summer, I tell you.
Yeah, you've traveled quite a bit this summer. You were in New York, Anaheim, Alaska, and I went to San Diego for the 25th time. But at some point, I expect I'll take a vacation this year. I don't know when. I don't know how. But I guess I should start planning right now.
We're going to Disney World over
see.
Christmas. We're going to Disney World. Yeah.
What dates?
Oh, that could have been my Disney week, and I didn't even say it. It'll be the Disney end of episode. I will tell everybody, if you know Annika, my youngest daughter, auditioned and got into the candlelight processional.
Oh my gosh!
For Epcot's Christmas celebration. So she'll be singing there. So
let me know the dates, and maybe I'll go with. I don't want to.
You don't want to cheer on Annika?
Of course I want to cheer on Annika. I don't want to invite myself on a family vacation, but I think that ship has sailed. So
that ship has sailed for real. For real. All right. Okay, Duelist, that was a lot of catching up. Thank you for those who have been participating on social media while we've been sharing our things and our summer. And now it looks like we're back in school. So routines shall be started again. Thanks for watching on YouTube. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and leave messages to let us know what you think about everything. Follow our podcast on iTunes or iPodcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. We're there. All right. So we'll catch you on social media at Dueling Disney.
To all that come to this happy place, welcome. Dueling Disney is your podcast. Here, age relives fond memories of the past, and here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Dueling Disney is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.